That is a constant in all the iterations of Oz. Those colors, they're vibrant, they pop. Speaking of which, giving some love to the sponsor of this video is brought to you by Displate. Displate offers high quality prints on metal in the name of celebrating what we love. And they have something for everybody. Video games, movies, video game movies, space time. Whatever your flavor, they got something for you to put on the wall. Prints are available in different finishes, including Textra. I say it that way because it's that metal poster pop leveled up. Metal posters with enhanced 3D printed details and effects, catches the light, gives your prints depth, brings them to life. It's a unique aesthetic. I dig unique. That's right, metal makes the prints pop and is magnetic in the name of implementing that easy mounting system. No nails, no screws, no drills, no holes. Stick the magnet to the wall, the print sticks to the magnet. In case you want to change it up for a season or an event, or the best reason ever, cuz makes it easy to do that too. So click the link below or use my code Jeremy upon checkout. And for Black Friday, enjoy up to 44% off Displate. And for the first time, the discount applies to Textra. The time has come, my friends. The time has come. And thank you once again to Displate for sponsoring this video. I do appreciate it. And now, if you didn't know this about me, I have about one musical in me per year. Looks like this is it. So Wicked is a film adaptation of Wicked, the Broadway musical that came out in 2003 that was based off of the book that came out in 1995. It stars Cynthia Erivo as Elphaba, better known to us as the Wicked Witch of the West, and Ariana Grande as Glinda, though how she pronounces her name and prefers it to be pronounced is kinda how Chandler Bing would.
That is so not true.
Oh, that is so Galinda. And they meet in school, a school called Shiz. The story being from the 90s, nothing's more telling to that fact than a school called Shiz. Because this sounds like the Shiz. And if you couldn't tell by my earlier statements, I haven't seen the play. I haven't read the book. Knew nothing about this other than it's the backstory and the perspective of the Wicked Witch of the West. Was she really that bad? To Wicked's credit, we see things like that in movies all the time. But Wicked's kind of patient zero to that concept of, hey, let's humanize the villain. Maybe they have a perspective on the matter. Beyond the capacity of villains snaps trillions of people across the universe out of existence. Turns them all to ash. And we, the audience, going, yeah, but there are two sides to this. But rather, is what we know about the Wicked Witch of the West correct? Or it's just propaganda? Yeah, you can make people view your enemy any way you want with the right amount of PR and media backing. The funny part is people on the left and right in 2024 hear that and they're both like, right? Exactly. Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande I thought worked really well with their dynamic, their chemistry together. I thought I was just going into this thing like, okay, they're gonna be friends, it's gonna fall apart, and right, I've seen movies like that before, let's just get to the story. Well, there's more to it than that. I didn't know Glinda was gonna have her own character growth. Yeah, I was just impressed by that. Unexpected. And Ariana Grande is surprisingly a standout. I don't know much about her. Just saying. I can't name one Ariana Grande song. I know that might sound weird, she's a pretty big star. To be fair, I do have a respectable Creedence Clearwater Revival collection on vinyl. Have I seen a movie with her in it? Not that I can find, and I haven't seen her on SNL. So yeah, I was surprised. She's comedically portraying and playing up an absolute Mean Girls princess. The movie makes you root for both of them, Elphaba and Galinda. And rooting for one doesn't mean you're not rooting for the other. You're rooting for them at different times for different reasons. Now, this movie is absolutely grand in scope and scale. It feels big. It also feels like a film adaptation of a musical. Like, if I didn't know this was a musical and I watched this movie, I would definitely be like, is this adapted from a Broadway play? It just has a lot of that grand scope and the sets, the colors, the musical numbers, which the music is actually really catchy. I know to a lot of people out there, it's classic. Well, to me, it's catchy. If I had one song in my head while I was driving home, that's a win. That happened. The bummer comes from the fact that this movie is, in a word, setup. Kind of what we've come to expect from a film that has Part 1 at the end of the title. To be continued being a time-honored tradition in cinema, the whole Part 1 thing, I was really glad when Mission Impossible went, oops, we're gonna undo that. Oh, here we are, Part 1, and it feels like Part 1, not in that feeling of finality. Like you saw a movie, but there's gonna be a sequel coming out. I feel like I saw the first act or first half of a movie. I'm at the point where, well, that bothers me. And it probably always will. From now to the grave. Because you see the start of some really interesting ideas in here. Starts. of interesting ideas in here. I'm not just talking about the romance, that's fine, mostly because I think the dude in the movie's really good. Who is that? Jonathan Bailey, he was great. Absolute standout in here. But there's this whole fascism rising Animal Farm in Oz storyline going on. There are some deep themes in this movie, some just about human nature. Others how those in power prey on that human nature. But we see a bit of it, the setup for part 1. Stay tuned for part 2. Meantime, all right, Mean Girls in Hogwarts. Right, it has a bit of that Hobbit energy in there in the sense that you feel like they're padding the runtime so they can have more than one installment. Looking into it, it looks like this movie, Wicked Part 1, is almost as long as the entire Wicked musical. So it is what it feels like in that respect. However, griping about that aside, I am definitely interested to see where this goes. If for nothing else, a Part 1, if it's gonna do its job, needs to get the audience to feel like that. And I did. I'm envious of fans of the musical because when you see this movie, you're gonna know where it's going. You're gonna feel that connection. But for the rest of us curmudgeons who don't have other dudes in their friend circle going, dude, Wicked, you gotta get on that. We're like, I wish I had the rest of it now. What do my friends and I talk about? The fact that Blood Omen Legacy of Kain is on the PlayStation Network right now with trophy support. Moving on. So in the end, I surprisingly enjoyed myself in Wicked. The actors did a great job. They have good chemistry. Also, their characters were surprisingly intriguing to me. But it oddly does feel like a slow burn, though it's not slow. It's a slow burn with high energy. And from what I've heard as to where the story goes, I'm really looking forward to seeing that. I just wish it was this. The actors are solid, good chemistry together. Oz feels grand in scope and scale. The music's catchy. And if you're not a fan of the musical, the movie does do its job in getting you invested and interested as to where this goes. They pull off the story going forward, and I've heard where the story goes going forward, and it sounds pretty awesome. This Wicked film adaptation, it could be something special. But for right now, here's part 1. A good time, no alcohol required. For my money, I like my Oz to be nightmare fuel. You ever seen Return to Oz? Traumatized an entire generation. Deadly desert, the Wheelers, that lady would remove her head. All right, so Wicked, have you seen it? What did you think about it? Whatever you thought, comment below, let me know. And as always, if you like what you've seen here and you want to see more, click right here to see more.